The history of humankind has testified time after time that the world in which we live is far more vast and complex than we can imagine. We often believe that we know and understand so much that we know everything there is to know about a universe into which we are just peeking. A universe that could be showing itself before our eyes as it is, and yet we're overlooking it. The sighting on January 26, 2022 in Islamabad, the capital of Pakistan, in the north of the country, is a sign of this. It was an ordinary day for the people. A clear blue sky, half clear, half cloudy, was rising over the most important city of the country. Islamabad is a clean and modern city where people of all ages went about their day in complete routine and naturalness, ignorant of the figure that orbited above them, attentive and unbowed. As silent and steady as a lurking predator, as an ancient and dignified monument, or a curious observer, what was it? Why was it there? How come no one saw it? Perhaps hundreds of thousands of people looked up at the sky for countless reasons. Their eyes might have missed it, but not all of them did. At least one person fixed his attention carefully on the sky and followed its trail. Sometime later, the whole world would meet him, and controversy and ambivalence would take center stage again. The whole world was about to meet the Islamabad Triangle. Mankind has always looked to the skies for meaning, but as our yearning for knowledge has reached farther into the depths of space, the search becomes for the answer of the question, are we alone? If you seek the truth, like, subscribe, click the bell icon, join us. This is what the world needs. This is disclosure. The sky has always been associated with mystery, uncertainty, and high ideals. Entire cultures, both on the European continent and throughout vast Asia, have seen it as a magical, supernatural place, as the home of powerful gods or spiritual guardians, a home from which these beings observe humanity and pass judgment. To this day, it may be difficult to determine how much truth, how much myth, and how much exaggeration there is in these stories, created by us to try to understand a universe in which we are not the center, but just another piece. But what if we have more distant influence than we have considered? What if there were more answers than questions in the sky? Could it be that our great cities have something that attracts and draws the attention of other cultures or even species? Could it be that our large cities, increasingly modern and sophisticated over the years, are attracting the interest of interstellar inhabitants? The sighting of the Islamabad Triangle could bring us some answers and, of course, a couple of other questions. On January 26, 2022, a 33-year-old man named Arslan Waryak, alien enthusiast, entrepreneur, and among other things, UFO hunter, captured on video a strange dark shape suspended over the sky of the Pakistani capital in the middle of the day. Waryak was landing his drone when he suddenly noticed a strange black dot, visible in the distance and hovering in the middle of the sky as if gravity was nothing more than a game. Initially, it seemed to Waryak that the UFO had the shape of a black oval rock, but as he got closer, he saw something absolutely different, something unusual, mysterious, and something that would forever change his life and our understanding of our surroundings. The businessman defined the UFO as a triangular-shaped body, as black as a piece of asphalt and bulging at the top. The strange object did not glow, did not emit light, nor did it reflect light. The man, originally from Birmingham, tracked the aerial body with extreme curiosity and fixation, recording it from a multitude of different angles. He took pictures and later shared more than 13 minutes of video, where the murky and mysterious black triangle remained unscathed in the middle of the sky. Waryak described it as a shape of a black rock, which when approached was more like a triangle with an oval bulge in the center, pointing upwards. At first, it didn't move, and its altitude did not vary in the slightest, although the businessman claimed to have tracked it for more than 2 hours before he lost it. He also claimed to have no idea what it could have been, although he could not be sure of what it was not. The video was the cause of lively discussions on YouTube, where thousands of people theorized about it. An interstellar observer? Some secret test project? An innovative drone design? Birds? Meteors? Arslan himself gave his opinion and was sure it could not be birds or vehicles of any kind. In the video, Waryak focuses on birds and groups of birds, comparing them with the mysterious object, whose stability and movement were not too similar to those of a bird, which could hardly remain stable for almost 2 hours in the air without flapping or making the slightest movement. Nor did it appear to be a drone. The 33-year-old businessman said he has flown drones himself on a multitude of occasions and could easily rule out that the lumpy triangle he recorded and followed for more than 2 hours was an unmanned vehicle, at least one that he knows of. The only thing he said he could be absolutely sure of was that he did not know for sure what the UFO was. There has been speculation that it could be a comet or commercial aircraft, but the theory is hard to believe. Its motion did not correspond to either of these. It seemed to be moving rather slowly, and unlike a comet or airplane, it did not leave a trail in its wake or emit any glow or light. It seemed rather to move slowly, almost hovering in the sky like a guardian or observer. The theory that it could be a military project or something of the sort should not be ruled out, but with the sighting happening in broad daylight and over one of the most populated and modern cities in the country, does it make sense to imagine this? To execute a possible top-secret project in broad daylight? Considering that the Pakistani capital is not only one of the most populated in the country, but also home to many of the highest-ranking government officials, the idea doesn't seem to make much sense. The Islamabad Black Triangle video is perhaps one of the most amazing UFO sightings on video that we are aware of. A long-duration recording of high quality and sufficient detail to understand the shape of the object. As if the quality of the video, its duration, and the statements of the UFO hunter were not enough, the comments and opinions about the video in social networks only increase our curiosity. Among the comments were statements from people who claim to have seen a mysterious and lurking flying object flying over the skies of New York, which they described exactly the same as the triangle that stalked over the Pakistani city. Like a lumpy black shape at its highest point, silent, slow, and without lights of any kind, it hovered for almost 4 minutes before it began to ascend until it disappeared in the sky. If these statements are true, we could only draw one conclusion. Whatever the lumpy triangle of Islamabad is, it's either not alone or it's traversing our world with something in mind. As if it's curious about us and our big cities full of hustle and bustle, light, movement, and energy. The modern world is an active, dynamic, and hectic place. The normal and expected result of inhabiting it is that each of us closes inward, focused only on what interests us and what we understand or only think we understand. Walking at our own pace with our eyes on the ground, gazing at the small section of the world before our eyes and ignorant of what may lie beyond, without looking up and opening ourselves to new horizons. Can this video be taken as reliable proof that our civilizations are on the eve of making contact with beings from unknown worlds? Warioch is convinced that the size of the universe and the immense number of planets, solar systems, and stars that make up only the small part we know of make it possible that there are not one, but many, many more civilizations throughout the cosmos. In his own words, some millions or billions of years more advanced than ours, and others that are just beginning. Would it be wise to expect such a thing? To imagine that our world is arousing the curiosity and interest of alien beings? Or is it simply pieces of human technology of which we are ignorant? Perhaps the most amazing thing about this whole event is not the sighting itself, but the conditions under which it occurred and the responses of the people. An enigmatic object, as black as coal, rose over one of the most populated cities as a dark spot between the clarity of the blue sky and the white clouds, without anyone, or almost no one, noticed it until the last moment. Thousands and thousands of people observed from the high celestial vault without imagining it at all. As ignorant of its presence as a rodent before the attentive and sharp gaze of a bird of prey. Before such a peculiar event, we ask ourselves, how much more could there be in the sky, and, even beyond, what we have not noticed? How much have we been ignoring? How much more do we have to discover? Could we have been the object of curiosity and observation for longer than we imagine? Or is it the advance of our technology, the glitter of the cities that attracts their attention? Is it us that interests them? Is there a world beyond our orbits that observes us? And if so, why? Interest? Simple curiosity? Will it be decades before an encounter is confirmed? Or is it just around the corner? Like and subscribe, and we'll be sure to tell you the answer if it comes.